Okay, we ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to another episode of The Claw and the King. I am once again joined by my co-host Zoops.
Thank you for having me again. I
Uh,
just love it here.
You love
Just
it?
looking at your
How's it
sexy
going?
face. Oh, it's brilliant. Obviously, the Clippers are without Kawhi, so I'm not very happy at the moment, and we're a bit shit. Not as shit as the Lakers, which is fabulous, what you love to see. Obviously, a lot to talk about with Man United. There's a lot to talk about, and a few new talking points as well.
Is it new talking points?
Yeah, well,
No way.
games.
No way.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
we're not that repetitive here. We just don't talk about the same shit every week.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I know. We're just so inventive, aren't we?
Yes. Yes, and hopefully these visuals hold up. We can actually put them in the thing. You might see this lovely scenery behind us.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Where are we right now?
Where are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Where are
You
we?
don't know where we are. You
Central Coast. There you go.
fucking moron.
Thank you. Central Coast. We are in the Central Coast with this temporary. I wish it was permanent, but temporary sort of setup at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to get on to today's opening talking points and stop talking
Yeah.
smack?
Yeah, you want to start with basketball or?
Yeah, we can start with basketball this time. Sort of
Okay.
mix it up.
All right. First, I think we'll talk about rookies. So what are your thoughts on the rookies to start the year?
I think I'm more disappointed, to be honest, and that's nothing against guys like Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes, but obviously they're big men, and this is a guards league. Everyone knows that. So seeing guys like Cade Cunningham, even though he's gotten a lot better, he struggled early. Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, those guys that you expected to be sort of rookie of the year candidates, have definitely fallen by the wayside. So yeah, we'll talk about top three. My top three. Obviously, Evan Mobley's got to be one. The Cavs obviously started so well this season. Ricky Rubio, for some reason, learned how to play basketball in a professional manner. And I think Evan Mobley just sort of brought a balance to the team that you wouldn't really have expected to see from a Cavs team that was so unbalanced last year. Larry Markkinen in the offseason was a weird acquisition to me, especially when you have Jared Allen and you just drafted Evan Mobley. I didn't know how that would all gel together. But it looks like it's going very well for the Cavs. Obviously, they've got Colin Sexton, who just got injured, which is...
He's out for the year, isn't he?
Yeah, really bad news for them. But I think they've got a lot of young, talented players. You know, Darius Garland is playing well. Evan Mobley, obviously a great talent, as Jared Allen as well. So they've got a great front court for the next 10 or so years, really, if they can sort of keep hold of those players. So he's my number one. Number two, I think everyone's got Scotty Barnes. I think these top two aren't really debatable, in my opinion. Scotty, I think the Raptors, I picked the Raptors at the start of the year to sort of flounder and be definitely by the wayside and at the bottom of the table. But look how well they're playing as a group. And I criticized them taking Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs, but his sort of role, I didn't really see his potential being any greater than a poor man's Draymond Green, if I'm honest.
Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, you looked in college, and
I just feel like they look like completely different players.
not really. I mean, if you look at them in college, Scotty Barnes in college shot like ridiculously low percentage from the field in college basketball. So I thought there's no way that this transcends to the NBA level, especially immediately. I thought potentially he could be a great sort of piece on a championship winning team. I think he was a winning basketball player, and that's why I liked him as a top 5, top 6 pick. But I didn't see him being sort of a scoring weapon, especially with Siakam out for major parts of the start of the season. I don't know about you with that one, but Scotty Barnes was definitely sort of a surprise for me. And I'm going to go for 3, Josh Giddey. I think you got to go with the hometown sort of kid. Obviously, he's Australian. But I think the Thunder were sort of expected to be the worst team in basketball this year by a country mile.
They pretty much are.
No, and you look in terms of record, there's plenty of teams that are worse than them, especially the way they've played. They beat the Lakers twice.
Well, I mean,
They beat the Lakers twice.
Yeah. I wouldn't really count those wins.
Yeah, which isn't really a feat. The Lakers are the easiest team in the league. But I think that Josh Giddey brings sort of an all-round game that the Thunder really didn't have. They had a lot of specialist players, with Lou Dort being specifically a perimeter guy, lockdown guy. Shea being sort of a scoring guard. You saw a lot of young talent, but not a lot of players that could sort of create shots for all that young talent. But Josh Giddey this year's been superb for me. I mean, scoring wise, he's a bit inefficient, especially from the field. He's not that bad from three, I don't think. But from the field, he's a bit inconsistent. But I think gladly surprised. I think a lot of people thought there was a reach at 6 to get him. But for me, he's been superb for that team, and they're doing well beyond what I expected them to do. So what about you?
Yeah, well, I was going to say the exact same 3 rookies.
Well, don't be a boring idiot.
I know, so now I'm scrambling to just think about who else is good. I guess we'll talk about Kate Cunningham. Obviously, number 1 pick, missed the first, 5-10 games of the season or whatever it was. Started out really slow. Looked a bit out of his depth, just being handed the franchise basically with literally nothing around him is obviously going to be a lot, but he has started to come on and look pretty good in recent weeks. Obviously, he had his welcome to the NBA moment against AD, where he got blocked twice in the one play and came up with a couple of turnovers that lost them the game to the Lakers. But I think overall he's been pretty decent so far this year. So I think he is still in that contention for Rookie of the Year. Because I don't think Mobley or Barnes are like a LaMelo or a Ben Simmons, where they're like so far ahead that they can't lose. So I think he still is in with a chance. Franz Wagner, I think he's been kind of impressive with Orlando.
Well, yeah,
he's in Orlando, right?
Yeah, he's with Orlando. he's in Orlando, right?
I've seen a few highlights.
I'm not reading off a list here of rookies, am I?
No.
Yeah, I think he's obviously a lot of people. He was taken before Suggs, and people thought that Wagner was the sort of the reach, and Suggs was a steal. But it's turned out to be sort of the other way around at the moment. So yeah, I think everyone's been a bit surprised. I mean, the Magic's
Chris Duarte as well. I think he had basically no raps on him coming in.
Yeah, well,
and
did you hear what LeBron said about him
No.
He said about they worked out Chris Duarte and he didn't miss a single shot in the whole entire workout.
So why didn't they take him?
Because the Lakers are idiots. I mean, they traded for Russell Westbrook. I mean, you want me to prove to you even more that the front office is a bunch of clowns?
Well, I mean, I feel like if you're given an option preseason, Russell Westbrook or Chris Duarte, you're going to take Russell Westbrook.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No.
Really?
No. I'd rather have you playing for
the
the Lakers.
I would rather have me as well. I feel like I could do a better job than Westbrook.
Maybe. You'd be more...
I'm not gonna shoot as many air balls as him.
No, you would.
But
you wouldn't turn the ball over nowhere near as much. No. It's physically impossible to turn the ball over.
I wouldn't have the
as he
ball.
does.
I would just stand in the corner.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your top 3 then? Because you've said a bunch of names. And
well,
my
my top 3 would have been the same, but I guess I'll go. Josh Giddey's in there.
So you're taking out Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley?
No, I'll leave Evan Mobley and I'll put in Kate Cunningham.
You're putting in Cade over Scotty Barnes?
Yeah. I feel like he's kind of overperformed to start the season.
So you don't think it's going to hold up for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think he's been a little bit streaky, and I think he'll come back to earth.
Okay, that's fair enough. But I wouldn't have put Cunningham in there. I probably might have put Duarte or Wagner if I was going to be different.
I think Cunningham just has a higher ceiling, so there's a good chance he'll improve a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad sort of top 3. There's obviously, in my opinion, there's sort of one definite standout and sort of Rookie of the Year candidate at the moment. But obviously, if Cade Cunningham can sort of turn the Pistons around and turn them into a, I don't know what is the Pistons record at the moment. I don't even know.
I think they've won 3 games.
Yeah, they're not getting into the play-in tournament. I think it's just tough because none of these rookies are playing for really good teams, are they? So it's not like they could sort of make an impact on a playoff level that could sort of bring it, even I know the playoffs aren't counted in the Rookie of the Year race, but sort of improve their public appeal, you could say, by high-level playoff performances. So, yeah, I think any top 3 is viable at the moment because there's so many in the race to get spot 2 and 3. But I think Evan Mobley's far and away the number 1 at the moment.
Yeah, but I think overall this draft class has been a little disappointing. just because of the star power that's come out of the last couple of years with LaMelo, Zion, Jar.
Mm.
Who was the other guy in it last year with LaMelo?
Did you just say Cat?
Oh no, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think all those four players beat anyone in this class.
Yeah, obviously. I don't think Evan Mobley. I think Anthony Edwards was very inefficient last year. Even though he had obviously great highlight plays, I don't think he was.
No, but you could just see he's a gun.
Yeah, I mean,
like the moves he's making, not many people can do that.
Again, it's too easy to judge on a lot of these players. But I think this draft class was sort of very highly touted, especially at the top. You've got Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green. We haven't even mentioned Jalen Green, really.
Yeah, well, he's been very disappointing.
Again, he plays for a terrible Rockets team where he's the best player. That should never happen for a rookie. And I think that he's sort of being
there's talk of John Wall coming back now to play.
He wouldn't be the better player. John Wall is.
Yeah, but they would start John Wall. I'm going to bring him off the bench.
Yeah, I think it would help him, but
yeah.
I think it'll take time for him. I think obviously you can see some of the plays that he makes. He's got a very high ceiling in terms of scoring levels, but we'll see. Do you want to move on to the Lakers versus Clippers preview?
Okay. This is the first matchup of the season, I believe.
Yes.
This Saturday? Is it Saturday?
Friday
for us.
Yeah, but I don't know about America. But
yeah,
I think
all our American fans, sorry, but it's Friday for us. Yes. Okay. What is your prediction for the first matchup of the season?
Well, this podcast is called Claw and the King for a reason. For these specific games, for these specific matchups.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm gonna say, the Lakers are gonna win. I'm never gonna say that. I believe the Clippers. Never? I think the Clippers have a clear pathway to win, especially with how shit the Lakers have been. I think that you look at the sort of how they've played is just so despicable in terms of the Lakers' production. It's just embarrassing, very embarrassing. I mean, I don't know. The Clippers have made them sort of, even though they're terrible, they're not great. But
the Clippers?
Yeah, they're not great, but they're still
they suck. They're horrible.
We've got a better record than you. We've got a better record than you.
Yeah, but they still suck.
In terms of production, I think a lot of players are stepping up. I don't know when Batum is back, so obviously he's a big sort of defensive problem that the Lakers would have to encounter.
Oh my god! No one rates Batum as highly as you do. You must be the biggest Batum fan in the world.
He single-handedly dismantled the Utah Jazz.
Really? Yeah. Single-handedly dismantled the Utah Jazz.
In terms of defensively, Rudy Gobert was a fucking nothing because of Nicholas Batum.
Oh my god!
He made the 3-time. What was it? 3-time?
That guy was a bench warmer in Charlotte.
Was he a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert?
Yeah, and we all know that's fake stats.
Yeah, but he still made him a non-factor.
Everyone would.
No, not
Rudy Gobert.
We were the first to
stats.
do it. We were the first to do it.
What about the other?
Who else?
Three seasons prior where Utah got bounced out.
Yeah, but that wasn't because Rudy Gobert.
Really?
That was because they had a young team. They apparently were the best team in basketball last year, but we bounced them out without Kawhi because we had the defensive sort of versatility of Paul George, Marcus Morris, and Nicholas Batum. And I think that you'll encounter problems with that. I'm sorry that I think that there is a chance that the Clippers win this game, and I know you don't think that, but I think that the Lakers are very discombobulated. It's just like I don't know what's sort of wrong with them. I mean, obviously you can say,
"Oh, we won."
You beat the Pistons.
Yeah, we won.
By one.
By 4 points.
You beat the Pistons by 4 points. That just illustrates how incompetent you are as a team.
33 from LeBron. This guy's going off.
Yeah, I just think that. What's your score prediction? Because I think it's going to be
I think we'll win 122 to 84.
120. Hang on. 120. Say that again. 122
to 84.
So you're going to beat us by 38 points.
Is that the maths?
I think so.
Okay. I can't be bothered to work it out, so I'll trust you.
38 points. That's a very bold prediction, I would say. I would say
that's conservative at best.
You think that's a conservative?
Yeah.
Who's got the better record?
Yeah. So
why are you predicting such a blowout like we're the worst team in the league?
Because every game's different.
But
matchups, storylines,
Yeah, we've
effort,
beaten you
players.
like every single time we've versed in the regular season.
Not every single time.
Like 6 out of 7 times.
Yeah, but this year, no
this
more.
year's different. This year's different. You're worse this year.
Yeah, we're
actually.
worse, but we're better against the Clippers.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because I know.
You just know inherently. You just a psychic. You can just read the future.
Yeah,
Is that
well,
what you're
I've been texting LeBron, and he's been like, "Don't worry, mate."
Isn't that collusion?
Collusion.
Like with the league?
What?
So how you got LeBron's number then?
Because because we're friends.
How did you become friends?
Because he saw the show and he sent me a message. He was like, "Great job, thanks for the support."
Is that what he said?
Yeah, and he was like, "We're gonna destroy the Clippers, so just look out for that."
Okay, that's great. Thank you. So my score prediction would be 110 to 104. I think towards the Clippers. I think Marcus Morris finally hits his stride. I think Paul George has a good game, and I think the turnover problems become more evident with the Lakers because they cannot hold onto the ball to save their lives, and that is probably the biggest problem in basketball from an offensive standpoint.
This is the game where Westbrook just becomes good.
He hasn't been efficient since never. He's never been an efficient player.
But now he will be.
Now he will be. Okay.
Yes, this just for one game, just a one-time only thing.
What's another? So you want to move on to the next topic? So obviously we have differing views.
Okay, these are a few little stories around the league today. DeMarcus Cousins has signed with I think I don't know if it's official, but signing with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Decent signing. I mean,
he was decent for you guys in the playoffs last year.
He had a great game. I want to say 5.
In limited minutes, he was playing.
Yeah,
well.
he had a great game 5 against the Suns. He still has offensive talent. There's no doubt about that. But you can only play him in 4-minute stretches because he is that unfit. Like he's had that many injuries and he's that unathletic at this point. It's impossible to play in big time minutes. But if you need for the Bucks especially, I don't actually think this is a bad pickup because
with Brooke.
Well, because I think sometimes, especially not last year, but you saw playoff series before that and prior years, you saw the Bucks struggle to generate offense sometimes when Giannis gets a wall built up against him and Chris Middleton can't hit because he's very inconsistent. You get a sort of situation where
you lose.
Yeah, you've got no efficiency on offense, so you need a guy that can sort of inject some offense into the team and just score an easy 5 points in 2 minutes. I think DeMarcus Cousins can still do that, and I think they can cover up for his defensive inabilities at this point. So I don't think it's a bad signing, and I think the fit's actually pretty good. It's just going to be interesting to see if he gets minutes.
Yeah, and there was a lot of talk to him of him like going to China or something. You know, I'm happy to see him staying in the NBA. I'm a sucker for OGs. I like to see them go around again.
Well, it's sad because, you know, obviously if he didn't get injured in New Orleans, he would have got a ridiculous amount of money. And if he didn't get traded from Sacramento, he would have got a ridiculous amount of money. So it's a bit sad about his injuries, but in his prime, he's probably of our generation, probably one of the best centers of our generation.
Yeah, in Sacramento, he might have been the best center in the league.
Yeah.
Not close to it.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think him and Brooke can have a nice pairing.
Okay.
That's
a good sort of stance on it, buddy.
I love you, DeMarcus.
Why do you love him so much? He's a Clipper. He was last a Clipper.
He's not.
But he was a Clipper, though.
Yeah, well, I hated him then.
Wasn't Paul George your favourite player before he went to the Clippers?
I did like him, but now I don't.
Because he went to the Clippers?
Yeah.
That's just very childish.
Childish.
It's very,
I hate the Clippers.
But you can just be sort of objective
Anyone that's
about
a part of their franchise is dead to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Dead to you?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like dead, or like just you don't like them?
Yeah, like dead to me, like I don't want to have any relationship with you.
Were you going to have a relationship with them anyway?
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know in this life. All right, Enes Kanter changing his last name to Freedom.
Yes.
That is possibly the most Enes Kanter thing that has ever happened. Yeah. I mean,
the guy's a weirdo.
What was the thing that he said in the Knicks press conference? So it was something to do with getting his nipples hard or something.
I mean, the guy is like a LeBron drama magnet.
Yeah. He talks all this smack. He's like, after he does like a an average defensive play. He's like staring the other guy down, and you're like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah,
You're
and
like a
he had like
rotational
the
center.
was it the Frank Ntilikina thing in New York?
Yeah, like, and he's like bumping chest with LeBron. Like, what are you doing, bro? And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then he's come out in the media like this past week and said, LeBron shouldn't be with Nike because of sweatshops or whatever. I don't exactly know.
Well, I mean,
I
think it's more to do with his sort of uprising against. I don't know exactly, but it's probably something to do with his sort of LeBron's how vocal LeBron is about social injustice in America, and how he's sort of saying that he doesn't speak up about social injustice in China.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, freedom, Ennis freedom. Is anyone going to call him that?
I mean, it's just everyone's just going to be like, bro, you're just a B-Tech Meta World piece.
Yeah, but Meta World Peace is like an iconic name.
Yeah, like Ennis Freedom is just
like
it's already been done.
Meta World Peace like played for several years after he changed his name. This dude's not gonna play like another 3 years, so it's just gonna be like really weird. Is anyone gonna call him Ennis Freedom? Has it gone into effect now? Like
I don't know.
Is it gonna go on when the Celtics play on ESPN?
I don't think he's officially done it yet, but I think this is just like this is the most attention he's had in his life because of this political stuff. So he's like, I can make some money off this. I am changing my name to Freedom.
He can get another contract because of this.
Yeah. I reckon his jersey sales will go up if he gets Freedom on the back.
Oh, obviously, yeah. All right. What have you put as Steph goated? What are you referring to?
Oh, well, I'm just saying, with Steph now being the all-time leader in 3 points made, just having another incredible season, I just wanted to, shed some light on Steph's greatness and just appreciate it because I feel like he is underappreciated at times. I don't think he really gets talked about in that best player in the league conversation as much as he needs to be. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I 100% agree. I think you look at his impact from an offensive standpoint, it's just unmatched in the league. You look how the players and the defenders sort of have to move and have to sort of just adjust for Steph Curry. It's like everyone's focused on Steph Curry, and that's why the Warriors do so well. It's because guys like Jordan Poole, guys like Toscano Anderson, guys like Kevon Looney, guys like Draymond Green, guys like Damian Lee, these role players are getting open lanes which they can either score a layup or kick it out for a corner three. And I think that this is such an unbelievable sort of player that is gone underappreciated because of the greatness around him. I think when you have a guys like KD and Clay, I think it's very easy to get sort of caught up in the fact that it's a team, that this is the team, it's because of the team, it's not because of one individual player, because you've got a lot of great players. But when you've got a player that impacts the game such as Steph, and yeah, he has nights where he shoots from stupid range and he goes 3 of 11 from 3, but he does. But just
he makes it.
Yeah, but no, but even if he misses them, just the sheer shooting of them impacts.
Like when I see him just begin his shooting motion, I think, we're behind 3 points.
Yeah,
it's like I've never felt this way about a human being that shoots a basketball before. Yeah. It doesn't matter how far away he is. When he pulls up, I'm thinking, shit, this is not good.
Yeah, I think that this is sort of. I think the appreciation for Steph has definitely gone up this year. I think in previous years it's sort of gone under the rug. He's not a top 5 player. I think definitely top 5 player in the league right now. You can't say anything else, and definite MVP candidate as well.
Yeah, I think he's probably a favourite right now, as much as I would like to say Jimmy is.
No, just no. Okay, you want to move on to the UFC?
No, you want to go back to...
Oh, yeah, we can go into football.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big news coming out of Manchester United is that Ralf Rangnick, the former RB Leipzig and former Hoffenheim coach, is becoming the interim manager for the next 6 months or the remainder of the season, and then moving to a sort of advisory role, you can say. Which, thank the Lord, because we don't have those banker clowns doing any decisions. I just hope he gets rid of Woodward. That's my aim, but that will never happen. But yeah, I don't know. You don't obviously know a lot about him. He's not. If you don't watch football that much, you probably don't know that much about him. But he's obviously a very, very highly touted coach in Germany, and sort of Klopp's and Tuchel's sort of defensive sort of system of pressing is modeled after his system that he created. He's a very smart man, and I think he'll get.
He's a very smart man.
He's a very smart.
That's good news.
Which, I mean, he's smarter than Ollie. I'll tell you that for nothing. hopefully...
But is he nicer than Ollie? That's the
I
question.
don't think he is. And that's the most important thing when you're talking about football managers. You need to be nice. Be caring. Because if you're caring and nice, that is the most important thing you can ever be in life. And that's how you're successful. If you're just nice in life, you'll be great. And I think you'll be a great manager. But no, I think in all seriousness, I think this is a good sort of interim. I obviously wanted someone permanent. I think there's no sort of... I said in the last podcast, I think that Pochettino or Ten Hag would be my ideal situation right now. And obviously Poch sort of leaked. You could say Poch sort of leaked a couple things in the media, saying that he would be willing to go to Manchester United right now. But Man United don't have the they don't have the know-how. The hierarchy has no idea how to pull off a sort of a mid-season sort of managerial change. So they just went for an interim one. I don't like interim manager, and we'll talk about we'll sort of digress or sort of move into how this may impact sort of further transfers of players that are either out of contract or want out of the club because of lack of playing time under Ollie. But I think this is probably the best interim that they possibly could have got. I know, obviously you don't. Do you have any comment on if they should have gone permanent or interim?
They should have gone permanent.
Great insight. That is fabulous insight.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly have never heard of this dude before, but if he's good, cool.
Well, you hear a lot of Arsenal fans, just shut up, Arsenal fans, like no one cares about you. You got a lot of Arsenal fans and a lot of like sort of rival fans talking about and piping up about who is this guy? No one knows him. He's not because he's not Pochettino and he's not Zidane.
Ralph Ragnick.
Yeah, he's not a big time name. But if you know German football, he plays good football. He's a very good player manager. And that's what you needed for an interim. And he's obviously, you want him to be someone permanent in the role, permanent in some sort of capacity at Man United in the long term. And he's obviously got a 2-year extension as sort of a, I don't know what his role is. Apparently it's an advisor role. That's what they're sort of putting out there. And hopefully he gets in there before the Arsenal game. That's a big, big thing. Because we don't want Carrick and the boys, the good old...
Isn't Carrick done now?
The Three Stooges. We don't want...
Why? Yeah. Why did he not start Ronaldo?
He didn't start
against Chelsea.
He didn't start Ronaldo because they've not got any clue how to fit world-class players into a team without making them a bunch of passion merchants. They finished second. They went to European finals with a bunch of players that know how to run and know how to be hard workers and know how to sort of defend. But when you bring in world-class players like Ronaldo and Varane and Sancho, you need to be able to mold them into a system, and you need to be able to adjust it. That's what managers are for. Managers are not there to just pick names on team sheets. Managers and the coaching staff are there to be able to use the new talent that have been brought in by the club and sort of fit them and mold their system around them. When you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, who can still one of the best players in the world, arguably the best striker in the world. I think Haaland is probably the best at the moment in terms of form. But in terms of record, you look at Ronaldo's record over the past 15 years, it's ridiculous. I think that he's a fantastic player, and obviously I cannot believe that the coaching staff is still there. It's ridiculous. How do they still have jobs?
I don't know.
It's they're that clueless up top at Manchester United. They're that unbelievably clueless that they cannot sort of figure out in their tiny little brains that it's a coaching problem as well. It's not just, you can't just throw the manager under the bus and say, yeah, done that. Brilliant. We're all good now. We're going to go unbeaten.
In saying that, the performances have been better.
No, they haven't. We won against Villarreal, but we played shit.
Drawing against Chelsea is
we played like park the bus football. That's all they know how to do. This is Manchester United. We shouldn't be clinging on for a draw against Chelsea. We should be competing. Look at the players that we've got at our disposal. It's ridiculous that we have to rely on these moments of brilliance and sitting back and playing like fucking Burnley week in and week out to just get results. And it's just depressing. And look, that's the thing. We're talking about Ragnick. His style of football is a lot more advanced. He's openly come out and said that he plays a system where it's more forward. He likes to play a system where you pass more forward. I would like to see changes to the formation. changes to sort of personnel, McFred most notably, because they're fucking clueless, and Magaluf at the back, Maguire and Lindelof. I think you need to sort of see more rotation in there. That was a main problem with Ollie. And I know that's probably not the coach's fault. That's more Ollie's fault in terms of game time decisions. The lack of rotation of players like Eric Bailly when our defence was being was shocking. Luke Shaw for Alex Tellers when he was out of form. You know, McTominay and Fred for Donny van der Beek and Matic, and Lingard when McFred are clearly out of form. I think more rotation with world-class players, I think you'll see a lot better results and a lot sort of improved player morale, you can say.
Okay. And from this player morale you speak of, is there potential January disasters for Manchester United? Are you saying like players want to leave because they're not getting played?
There's a lot of players that have been disgruntled at Manchester United for the past couple of years now. Because Ollie, he has his favourites. Everyone knows that. He likes a group of players, and he doesn't pick others. So when you've got McFred, and you've got Maguire, who never gets taken out, and you've got Luke Shaw, who I like Luke Shaw. I think he's a great player, but he never gets taken out. I think these players, like Dean Henderson, like Donny van der Beek, like Lingard, like Eric Bailly, they're all going to want out. And it might not just be January, it might be the summer as well. But I think this is going to be sort of a disaster in potentially...
What if they say they want to go, that they don't necessarily just get given away?
Well,
what if Manchester's stay?
In Lingard's situation, he can go for a free. He can go... The club can't get anything for Lingard. Cavani's gone as well. Dean Henderson... But that's the thing. It's same in the NBA. When a player requests a trade, your value goes through the fucking toilet. And all these players are clearly wanting out. Now, the thing with Ragnick is, I'm praying that guys like Donny van der Beek get an opportunity to start, because Donny wants to be here. He just didn't get any fucking playing time. But now, hopefully, he'll get some playing time. But it could be a disaster. You could look at start next season, you're like, holy shit, Man United have at least like 14 players that can play. And the rest are shit. And the rest are either youth players or shit. And that's another myth about Ollie, about he's a great youth developer. We bought Ahmad Traore for 40 million. Hasn't played a game. So you can't say that he's a great youth developer. And I think, obviously, that this could be a disaster at the start of next season, depending if Ragnick can sort of convince him, hey, there is a project here. Hey, we can compete. Hey, we can beat these teams in the Champions League. Because there's no way we're winning the Premier League now. It's all about Champions League, and if we can progress in that tournament, and if Ragnick can get the best out of these players, and I'm hoping he can.
Yeah, I think he will.
You think he will?
I think they'll win. They'll go undefeated the rest of the year.
Do you? That's very optimistic. I might say so myself.
Well, I'm not rocking this jersey for nothing.
How much was it again?
130 maybe.
Ooh, that's a bit pricey, mate.
Is
Jesus.
it? That's how much jerseys cost.
I mean, it's very pricey, but I mean, obviously, I'm not surprised Manchester United are charging that much. Jeez.
It'll be the same for anyone. Like a NRL jersey is more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
God, why would you want to buy an NRL jersey?
I don't know, so you can wear it to a game.
No way. All right, want to move on to Chelsea's performance? Is that where you sort of...
Well, I don't know, just the game this morning. What were your thoughts? Well, you basically already said it.
Yeah, we just parked the bus for 90 minutes and it was boring and it was just lackluster. I was just bored out of my mind. We got a goal from a Jorginho mistake. There's nothing really to talk about it. It's just same old because the coaching staff is still there. You good there, Brick? You just gonna get in front of the camera? Thanks, buddy. Love you, Bricky. See, we're just getting interruptions from our housemates. Okay, so yeah, I think that there's nothing really to sort of talk about because it's no different from any other performance. We were just lucky that they didn't score 3 and they only scored 1, essentially.
Yeah.
It's just...
It looked like they were lucky.
The coaching staff is just unbelievably terrible. So there isn't much to talk about. We can only talk about it if Ragnick can get some coaches in and if McKenna Carrick and Phelan can just get out. I know
Please,
Carrick is a
just
legend.
please leave.
Carrick and Phelan
Asking
especially.
nicely.
Phelan was an assistant under Sir Alex Ferguson for God, how long? I mean, Jesus, he was there for
Who?
decades. Phelan.
Fieldings.
Yeah, Fieldings, that's his name. And then obviously Michael Carrick as a player was a great player for Manchester United. But there's no way that they should be coaches. They're just incompetent on the highest level. It's unbelievable that they're still there. But yeah, there's no way that they get replaced because it would cost too much money. So it's just
Costs too much money.
yeah.
How's going to be too much money?
Again, we're run by investment bankers. We aren't run by football
Manchester
people.
United is like one of the richest teams in the world.
Again, they want to make money. They don't care.
What's like $1 million on coaches?
It's not $1 million. It's more because they just signed new contracts because we just signed them to new contracts, which would cost more to release them. So it's just ridiculous how sort of we've been run at the moment. But there's no surprise. I'm not going to sort of sit here and say, oh, yes, we got a new manager in when the coaching staff is still there. So, yeah, it's a bit fucked at the moment. So do you want to move on to the UFC?
Okay, I mean, you can do a just quick preview for this week's card. Jose Aldo, the legend, returning against Rob Font in the bantamweight division. Do you know who Rob Font is?
No fucking clue.
You have no clue?
No. Why would I know who Rob Font is?
He's a very hyped fighter right now.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I haven't heard of...
Who did he just beat? He beat Marlon Moraes. Do you know who that is?
Yep.
Okay. Well, he's looked very good in his last few fights. He did lose. Who did he lose to? I can't even remember who he lost to. He lost to someone, but he's looked really good since then. He's in the same camp as Calvin Kattar. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I actually do know who that is.
Yeah, he fought Max.
Yeah, I do know who Calvin Kattar is.
So they're in like a Boston camp, I think. So they've got a pretty good team. And obviously Aldo went down to bantamweight, got the title shot against Peter Yan. He looked actually pretty good in that, to be fair. Like, probably did better than like Aljamain Sterling did, even though Aljamain's the champion now. But he did lose that fight, and then he beat Chito Vera, and he beat someone else, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, he's looked pretty good at bantamweight. So,
well, I mean, I hope Aldo can sort of get back to his former sort of glory, obviously, since Conor sort of took it away from him and destroyed his career. I think that obviously the bantamweight no one really cares about unless you're a UFC fan. It's not it's not going to be
pretty good division.
I mean, it's not going to be like a main card on ESPN. It's not going to be talked about.
Well, it is the main event.
Oh well, okay, it's a main event. You know what I mean, though. It's not going to be a sort of talked about sort of division because of how small they are, and they're the size of anyone's cat.
Sean O'Malley's like one of the most hyped fighters right now.
He's not even ranked though.
Yeah, but he's very hyped.
Well, he's hyped because he gets drunk with 6ix9ine, not because of his fighting ability.
And his fighting ability.
Okay. So what's your thing? Conor calling out everybody. What is that in relation to?
Okay, just quickly before we move on, Brad Riddell's on this card. And Jimmy Crute. Couple of Aussie New Zealand blokes, hometown boys, very good fighters. Good luck to them. Okay, Conor calling out everyone. Well, basically, Conor's just been, because he can't do anything because his ankle's snapped in half, he's just been on a Twitter tirade recently. And did you see the video of him squaring off with Max?
No, I didn't.
No? Well, okay, so Max just fought Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And Conor was like standing in front of his TV, like...
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Squaring off with him. So there was some talk of a Max fight after that. He's since said he wants to fight Chandler. And then he's definitively said he replied to one of the ESPN journalists and said, my next fight is for the lightweight title against whoever wins out of Dustin and Oliveira.
It just shouldn't be that.
Yeah. He's also said, Usman looks very tasty. I think I like that fight for the treble.
Please don't.
So he's basically calling out every fighter from 45 to 70 for his next fight, and it's a little bit excessive, I think, at this point.
It's very excessive. He's been absolutely well. Again, I've said this many times. I don't think that Conor's necessarily bad anymore. I just think that he's been out of the ring for way too long and for too many stretches. He has a fight and then's out for a year, 2 years. And when you're versing guys like Dustin Poirier and Khabib, you're not going to beat them. I mean, you can beat guys like Cowboy. He could beat guys like Cowboy when he's 45. But I think that at this point in his career, with the lack of sort of fight experience that he's had over the past couple of years, there's no way that he beats a Kamaru Usman or beats a Max Holloway. He has to fight sort of the big name, sort of fun cards like the Tony Fergusons, the Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
He could win those.
Yeah, he's also said that trilogy is definitely happening with Nate. So.
Well, yeah, that's it.
He's got about 20 fights to fight in the next 2 years.
Yeah, he's gonna fight every weekend. I think that Dana obviously knows that he's not on the level of Usman, nowhere near at the moment, and I think he'll try and match up with Nate. I think Nate makes the most money for the UFC, Nate and Conor, and it also sort of may prolong Conor's sort of career in the UFC, because if Conor loses again, he has zero sort of credibility as a fighter in terms of fighting top 5, even top 10
It depends.
guys.
If it's like a razor close decision, I still think he's there.
No, there's no way that he can ever sort of be in the conversation for a title shot if he loses another fight or his next fight. Sorry, but
I think he can. But
you think he can?
yeah, that's just the UFC. It's as much as it is about fighting to get there. Once you're there, it is just as much about what you can bring to the table in terms of.
Well,
audience.
yeah, he'll always have the numbers, but
Yeah.
it's just, can Dana like justify amongst UFC fans, especially hardcore?
That's why
UFC
you're
fans?
seeing Leon Edwards have to win 20 fights to get a title shot, because he has fucking no fans. He has like less than 100,000 followers on Instagram, which is nothing. And that was before he fought Nate. He has got a bit more since then, but before Nate, he was literally unknown to the world pretty much, and he was on a 10-fight win streak.
Yeah, again, guys.
Whereas you see Colby sit out for a year and he just gets the shot.
Well, yeah, I think if you're a big name, you obviously get more chance of a title shot. But again, if you lose 3 fights in a row, can you get a title shot if you win one? If you lose,
well, I think for Conor McGregor, yeah. Because it also depends. If he loses 3 in a row, but then he comes back and fights Justin Gaethje, who's the number 1 ranked guy, and beats him, then yeah, he gets a title shot.
Well, again, I don't think he'd beat Gaethje. I don't think he beats any of those guys with the lack of sort of with the ring rust that he has at the moment. He just can't seem to either stay healthy or stay sort of active enough to be in contention for a title or to compete with a guy like Khabib or a guy like Kamaru or a guy like Max Holloway or any of them. I just don't think that he has the experience in the past couple of years to do so. And I think it'd sort of be a travesty if he would to fight a title shot next time. If he were to fight a Kamaru Usman in his next fight.
No, he's definitely not going to do that. But I mean, I'll just say it's very entertaining to me. I do enjoy his little Twitter roasts. They're quite funny. Just the verbiage he uses when he talks about.
Well, he just talks shit. He just doesn't give a fuck at this point.
It's just funny the words he uses.
He's just that rich. He just literally could not give a shit.
But yeah, shout out Conor.
Shout out.
Hopefully you win your next fight,
Shout
mate.
out you boy.
So I can be a fanboy proudly once again.
Hopefully. I mean, he was the best thing that ever happened to the UFC. The UFC wouldn't be on ESPN right now. Wouldn't be in the mainstream media as it is if it wasn't for Conor McGregor. And everyone knows that. So
Yeah.
you can either hate him because he ate him. You know that saying?
I mean, you could hate him for a multitude of reasons.
Why is that? Because he punches old people?
Yeah.
Because he has sex with women other than his girlfriend?
The derogatory terms he uses to describe fighters and fighters' wives.
Yeah, that's part of the game. It's part of the game.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Do you want to do...
Should we do bang or blocked?
It's very weird. It sounds very sort of sexual, but
yeah.
I hope it doesn't turn into that later on in the sort of podcast to come. I hope it just sticks to sport. But yes, let's do... Stop trying to question this guy. He's trying to ruin my parade. Why are you making it sexual? I'm not. I just made a comment. What are you talking about?
Okay.
All right. Bang or blocked by James. Well, why'd you do by James though? That means that just insinuates. It doesn't mean by James.
Whatever.
It could just be by a dude named James.
Okay. Oh, sure. No. Okay.
Just do bang or block, dude. It just sounds weird if it's by James.
Okay.
It's just putting a person there.
First one. The Warriors won't improve with Wiseman and Clay back in the lineup.
Bang.
Ball go back out to Allen. His 3-pointer. Bang!
Yeah, I just think there's no room for improvement, really. I don't know how, and people are going to sort of disagree with that. That might be a hot take, but I think Clay, you don't know what he's going to be like with his injuries, and his sort of main calling, even though he was a great shooter, was his ability to defend big time players in the playoffs. And I don't know if his sort of athleticism is going to be anywhere near what it was 2-3 years ago. And I think Wiseman, you saw last year, he still has a lot to sort of learn about winning basketball, even though he's such a talented player. He definitely showed last year that his feel for the game is a bit off at the moment. And I think if you're gonna put Wiseman and Clay in there, you're gonna take minutes away from Jordan Poole, away from guys like Kevon Looney, guys minutes from guys like Draymond, minutes from
Looney.
guys like I just said Looney, like Damian Lee and those guys. You're gonna take minutes away from role players that have been playing really, really, really well and been developing. And I think it's just gonna not really improve. It's gonna take a while for them to gel. And obviously, they do improve with Clay in the lineup. I think that'd be ridiculous to say that they wouldn't. But I think it might come when it comes to the playoffs. I think they might be sort of better suited to give Wiseman less minutes over Kevon Looney, because I think Kevon Looney.
Really?
Well, I think Kevon Looney contributes to winning basketball more. I think that his ability to defend well, his positional sense is a lot better than Wiseman. His sort of
but he's just so limited athletically.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to be a skyscraper. He needs to sort of have experience of being in deep playoff runs with the team, and he has that. And I think if they choose to play Clay sort of 38 minutes a night and Wiseman 32 minutes a night over guys like Looney and Poole, I just think it's not going to be a smart decision for them. And I think they might do that because of their loyalty to those guys. Well, especially to Clay, their loyalty to Clay. So that's my opinion on it. Do you have an opinion on that, or?
Yeah, I tend to agree, especially when they first come back. I think there'll be a growing period, I guess you could say, where they do have a little dip. When they do come back, I think it'll take Clay, especially like 2 years out, is a long time. I think it'll take him a while to get his rhythm. Wiseman, I do think Wiseman is has a lot of upside because he just opens the floor up a lot more, even more. He's just so much more versatile offensively. You know, he can hit a mid range. You can throw him the ball in the post and he can create his own shot. And I think he has the potential to be great defensively with his length and athleticism. So, I mean, I see him having a lot more upside than Looney in the lineup.
I mean, look, you can say that they have sort of more talent when Clay and Wiseman are there, but in terms of winning basketball, I think you've got enough talent there, offensive talent especially with Curry and Poole and those guys and Wiggins. I think when you have that sort of lineup that's working so well at the moment, what are they, 18-2? It's just hard to see that a guy that's been injured for 2 years and a rookie last year is going to improve them that much, or if at all, which I'm not really thinking that they are.
Okay. All right. Next one. Bit of a Lakers one. Frank Vogel is a bottom 3 coach in the league.
Oh, bang, 100%.
How'd you think about it then?
I was just thinking about what I was going to have for tea. I wasn't really
Yeah.
contemplating the question. I think that Frank Vogel is just a terrible coach. I mean, even if you're a Lakers fan, you think he's trash. I mean, he's just incompetent when it comes to game time decisions. And I think that, can you not open chips, please? It's very loud. Thank you. Just raining on my parade, buddy. Just do it under your shirt or in your pants, either one.
What?
Okay, so Frank Vogel, you're a Lakers fan. I think you should sort of comment on it. Do you think he's bottom 3? Do you think he's that bad? Because there's a couple bad coaches in the league.
I don't know. I'd have to properly list out every coach and work it out, but I think he's very bad. So I would say bottom 3 just off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think bottom 3 definite. And do you think he's going to be in the sacking?
I mean, there's been talk of him losing his job recently, which is great to hear.
Who would you replace him with? Who would be your ideal replacement for Frank Vogel?
Greg Popovich.
Let's just pick any name out of the hat, shall we? Like
who's
talking
on the
about
market?
available now.
Mark Jackson.
A guy like Mark Jackson, maybe Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah.
There's a couple of names that you could sort of pick. I think that if they had a top 5 coach in the league, the Lakers would be a lot better, sort of schematically and sort of chemistry wise. So I think.
Yeah, I think the problem is Frank Vogel hasn't bothered to come up with an offense. He's just said, "Play you, LeBron and Westbrook. You guys are smart, right? You guys work out what you want to do."
Yeah, you guys are all stars, right? You can do
it's
what
like,
you want.
bro, they're fucking players. Tell them what to do.
Yeah, I think he's been a bit of a shambles, and he wasn't great in Orlando either. So he sort of came to notoriety because of the Pacers, and Paul George sort of emerging in that team. But I think he's sort of been a shadow of himself since then.
Okay. Next one. Where will KD rank by the end of his career? Mate, they can't hear it. It's fine. I don't think.
Jesus Christ.
Where will
chips? I hate chips with a passion now.
Fuck! Just let me say this stupid sentence.
Sorry. Do you want to say something? What?
Where will?
Do you want to say something? I'll just say it. Just say it. Hurry up.
Okay. Where?
Yeah.
Will KD rank by the end of his career? Does public perception hinder his greatness?
You had to get that out quickly, didn't you?
Just answer the first. Oh wait.
Where will KD?
Question? No.
Where will KD?
Let me rephrase. Will KD be the all-time leading scorer by the end of his career?
No. Blocked.
Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James.
I think, and this is nothing against KD, but you just look at situationally. I don't like him personally, but I mean, I don't know him personally.
Well, as a human, you don't like him.
I think he's actually kind of funny as a human, just talking shit on Twitter. But I think that KD, when you have sort of multiple seasons of injury, of long-term injury, that sort of hinders yourself. And then you've got the years with Golden State where he was still a great player, but he was only averaging 24 or 25 a game because there was so much offensive talent on the team. And I think when you've got a guy like LeBron who just plays, even though he's been injury-prone of late, I think you look in year out, averages 25 a game. You just can't sort of compete with that. I think James Harden finishes above him in sort of scoring charts when it's all said and done, because he just had so many monster years with Houston. But I think KD has a chance of being top 10 maybe, but I just think...
I think he gets top 5.
I just think there's not enough years to make up for it. There's just not enough sort of... there's just been too much injury, too much sort of... Obviously, he had a couple of years in Golden State, which hindered his numbers. It's all about numbers, and obviously it doesn't have any impact of how good of a player you are. Michael Jordan, if that was the case, Michael Jordan would be the greatest player of all time. But I think that...
Do you think no injuries he could have done it?
Oh, absolutely. If he stayed in, or if he stayed in OKC or didn't go to Golden State, especially, he's just such a gifted scorer. You look at how unbelievably hard it is to defend him. You just can't. It's physically impossible to defend Kevin Durant because of how long he is and how elite he is at shooting. He's arguably a top 3 shooter in the league whilst being 7 foot tall. It's just ridiculous how easy it is for him to score the ball. And how efficient he has been this year is just crazy to see without sort of star players around him, even though the defense knows that he is the main guy. They just sort of... just the ease in which he scores is just pretty remarkable. So I don't think that there will be sort of there wouldn't be a debate. I think he would definitely pass LeBron in terms of that because if he was.
Well, I mean, we're just assuming that LeBron's going to pass Kareem.
Yeah, well, that's probably a sort of assumption because he's going to play a couple more years. But I think that he could have easily averaged 34 for his entire career.
34.
You could easily.
I think 30 maybe.
He could average 34 for his career. Nobody has been a more gifted scorer than him.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And he shoots it unbelievably efficiently. So if he shot it more, he would. I think he could. You see Harden average 36, 37 in certain years. I think he could easily have averaged 34, 33 for his entire career. Depending
Okay.
on situation, obviously.
All right. Well, that's the last one we've got for today. Do you want to try this thing?
Do you want to try the trivia?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to set it up? Do you want Robbo to do it or me to do it?
You want? Do you want to do it, Robbo? Okay.
Is he coming up?
Come over then.
I want you to
We'll take advantage of the
give a round of
humans we
applause
have
on
here.
the fucking machine.
Oh, true.
Round of applause. Do the round of applause now.
No,
And introduce
when
him.
he comes into the shot. Oh, he's in the shot. Which one's a round of applause? Welcome. I mean, you guys can just like pass the mic, I guess. You can still sit. Wow, what the fuck? Okay.
Still gotta cook dinner.
You gotta cook dinner.
After this.
Let's put the mic. There you go. Speak.
Hello.
Okay, yeah. Just make sure that people can hear you. Right. So this will be the first week of our little trivia segment where we will ask some slightly more casual fans a few questions and see how they go. Right.
Ready.
How do you think you're going to go today, Robbo?
Average.
Average. Okay.
We'll
I
see.
think you'll get. Well, actually, I don't know if you'll get any points,
But
but
how hard did you make the questions?
like not that hard for me, but you might find them a little difficult. Okay. Well, I'll start it off.
Alright.
How many teams has LeBron James played for in his NBA career? And for a bonus point, who are they?
3.
3 teams. Can you name them?
Miami, Lakers, and Cleveland.
All right, that's 2 points straight off the bat. Was that difficult, or was that easy for you?
It's all right. No, that's easy. That one.
That was okay. How many rings does Kevin Durant have, and a bonus point for how many finals he's been to?
How many rings? I want to say 1 or 2.
One or
Right.
2. Unfortunately, that's not an answer I can accept.
I'll say 2.
You'll say 2?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many finals has he been to?
5.
5? Okay, so you think 2 rings and 5 finals.
Well, maybe 4 finals. I'll say 4 finals, 2 rings.
Okay, that was a great change. You've absolutely nailed it.
I think it was a Golden State.
Yes, he had 3 finals in Golden State, I think. Yeah, and then 1 with the Thunder, and the 2 rings with Golden State. So you are 4 out of 4 at the moment. This is impressive stuff right here. This might stand the test of time. Question number 3. Who won the 2015 NBA MVP award?
Wow. 2015. I don't even know. It would have been from God. Is it KD?
KD? Is that final answer?
No.
No.
This is not a final answer. Oh.
Just make sure speaking to the mic.
Because 2015 was the little thing between Cleveland and that was the start of Cleveland and Golden State, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it'd be someone from Cleveland and Golden State.
Potentially not.
Gee, you're helpful.
This is competitive stuff.
2015. I'm gonna say KD. I'll
You gonna say KD?
I can't. Well, yeah. There's
Okay.
a lot of options I could think of.
Kevin Durant was the 2014 MVP. It was Stephen Curry.
Steph.
Yeah, it was Curry. So, close but no cigar on that one. Question number 4. Has LeBron James made more or less than 15 All-Star teams?
Less.
I just need to look this one up.
He's made 13. I think.
You think he's made 13?
How long's he been in the league?
Is that your final answer? Less?
How long's he been in the league?
He got drafted in 2003.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Over or under 15 All-Star appearances?
I'm gonna say over.
Over? Final answer?
That'd be like 80% of his career then.
It would.
We'll say over.
We'll say over?
Over.
Yes. He has indeed. He's made 17 All-Star teams.
17.
Yeah, this year will be 18.
Nice.
So I think it's every year except his rookie year he's made it. All right, so the final question. This is coming from Zoops. He wanted a soccer question. Football, whatever. Who did Cristiano Ronaldo play for in Spain? So a Spanish team. And for a bonus point, what team did he play for in Italy?
Alright, the sport I know nothing about.
Yeah, but you definitely would have heard of at least the Spanish team.
Are these teams like Real Madrid and
They are Spanish teams, yes.
something Milan? Some letters?
Milan is Italy. Real Madrid is Spanish.
Okay, can that be my answer?
Real Madrid?
Real Madrid for Spain
Yeah.
and bonus point in Italy.
Yeah.
Milan.
There your answers.
What's the name of the team?
There's AC Milan and Inter Milan.
Oh shit. AC Milan.
AC Milan.
AC Milan for the bonus point. And
Oh, God.
what did I even say for the first
Real
one?
Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Okay.
Is that in Spain?
That is in Spain. Fucking this up. There we go. Real Madrid is correct. AC Milan is incorrect.
Incorrect. Nice.
AC Milan is incorrect.
Is it the other Milan?
No, it was Juventus.
Never even heard of Juventus.
Never heard of Juventus?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't even think
That
it
is
actually
extremely
exists.
casual.
Just making this shit up now.
Okay. Well, okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you got 6 out of 7, 6 out of 8. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Because I got Italy wrong, that
Yeah.
one, and 2015 MVP.
Okay, 6 out of 8. That's quite impressive. Thomas Robinson, first
Hold
one
the
to
throne.
take on the trivia, gets a 6 out of 8. All right, that wraps it up. Do you want to finish the show or do you want to finish it, Zoops? Wrap it up?
No, I reckon you should finish it, Zoobs.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. I love you all. Please, everybody, like and subscribe. And have a lovely day. Cheerio.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Laters.
Thanks for listening.
Aye, aye, aye.